Yes, good. We did it.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Aubrey.
I'm Christina.
And today we're going to be chatting about love languages.
Love languages, a topic that's near and dear to our hearts, right, Aubrey?
Yeah.
Something we're both pretty passionate
to everyone's
about.
hearts. Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Let's talk, first of all, let's talk about the 5 love languages, right?
Oh yes, let's name them.
Acts of service,
Yes.
physical touch,
Quality time.
words
Gifts.
of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Gifts.
Yeah, we did it. All
We
5.
did it. All 5. We did it. Yeah, I want to try and guess what your
I like it.
love languages are.
Okay.
I'm going to guess words of affirmation.
What?
Words of affirmation. I'm going to say your top 2.
Okay.
I think what you like to receive is words of affirmation and physical touch. And I think what you give is physical touch and
words of affirmation.
words of affirmation.
You're like, actually, the only kind of love language you give is well, are you correct? You're correct, exactly.
I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, I think we're all of them to a certain
Yes,
extent, right?
definitely.
It's not like, I'm like, how dare you gifts? Like, no,
Right.
of course I like that, but you hit the nail on the head. My favorite love languages for sure are words of affirmation and physical touch. And especially with people that I'm not super close with or intimate with yet, definitely words of affirmation. And as the relationship progresses, I mean, it's like I'm touching you all the time, and people I don't know that well.
time.
All the time. That's who I am. I'm a toucher. I'm a toucher. And I don't know if it's evolved. Like, I haven't thought that far back, but I like, do you think we're born with the same love languages, or is it like as we evolve and,
Ooh.
hit puberty and actually, start exploring that side of ourselves? Because I don't know if, you know what? Words of affirmation has always been
Always
top.
been.
Yeah.
Yeah, you love a
For
good
better or for
compliment.
worse, which I do now.
You look
So
beautiful today.
Oh, you look beautiful today. And I do love that. Like, my dad always told me growing up, he's like, don't take compliments to the head and criticism to the heart, or something like that. And I do both. Absolutely. I don't take the advice. When someone compliments me, I take it to my head immediately, and I'm like, thank you, correct. And when someone is, it's the same. It's like when someone's like, you're mean, or I don't like your dress, I'm like, oh my, it hurts me to my core.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Your turn.
Well, what do you think mine are?
Exactly. Let's see. I think you are, again, I think you like both of those things too. I think you are, Aubrey's house has bugs.
I feel like there's a bug in here.
We're filming outdoors. This is a campsite we've erected in the middle of the woods. Okay, Aubrey, I think, is quality time. What if I'm wrong? I want us to say, what if I'm wrong on these?
It's okay.
You were right. I want to be right too.
That's okay. Okay.
I want to be right too.
Okay, so you think quality time, and what's the other one?
Quality time. Okay, it's hard, audience, because our friend's here, because she's really good at all of them. She's great at gifts. Let's talk through them. She is good at words of affirmation. I don't think that's it. Like, she's good at that, but I don't think that's
Well, what
her
do I
number
like
one.
to receive?
Exactly. You like to receive gifts, but you also I think you like to receive definitely quality time. Acts of service, maybe? Oh gosh, I don't know. None of them. I don't know all of them. Let's walk through them again. Hang on. Quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation,
Acts of service and gifts.
I might, you know what? Maybe it's gifts and quality time.
Okay. Quality time, 1,000%.
Okay,
That is
good.
like number one.
Okay, then
for
I'm
me.
right. So that gifts is wrong.
Yeah, gifts is wrong
you
for what I
give
like
them,
to
but
receive.
you give.
That is a way that I give
Yes.
love
Okay.
for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
It's interesting
again.
because I would say
Yeah.
my second one, it's a tie between physical touch and acts of service. So you were right on the acts of service. Acts of service has been
God.
something that I have needed more the older I get.
Yes.
I feel like it is something I would have never thought about before, but the older I get, the more I really need acts of service.
Totally.
But leaning on physical touch, that doesn't necessarily mean like, yeah, we gotta like bang it out every day. But I do have to be with somebody who's like affectionate to me. Like, I wanna hold hands.
Right.
I want you to like give me little butt taps throughout the day, like hugs,
public.
cuddling in public, Yeah, I love, kissing and all that kind of stuff. Like, I have to be with someone who's affectionate.
Now, it's so funny because I immediately translate this to not only my like marriage and my previous relationships, but I do it with my friendships as well. So do you need the physical touch in friendships too? Like I need that in my friendships too. Like I need people to be like, it's so good to see you. Like and when Bryant and I are fighting, like always I'm like, we have to hold hands. Literally, I'm like, we have to hold hands when we fight, or I'm gonna be upset. If we're not touching, then we might as well be just on opposite sides of the house.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
I think with friends, again, quality time is just like across the board for me.
Right.
Like the thing that I have to feel close to somebody. Excuse me.
Bugs.
The bug.
There's a lot of bugs in the house.
I'm just choking on the bugs.
Yeah, she got nervous.
But yeah, I would say physical touch with friends is great. Like I remember for New Year's, was it last year? This last New Year's or the one before? Like there were probably 10 of us just like hanging out here, and we were all just like laying on the floor, like cuddling the dog. Like, we had our heads laying on each other, and it was just like nice. I don't know.
That.
It's like nice.
Again, it's that intimacy. I keep saying that word, but it's like there's something, I don't know. It's again how you receive intimacy, right?
Yes.
Like love languages. It's like how do you feel? How do you feel the most love and affection and caring, and how are you seen? I don't know. And I think there's something, I don't know, about touching where you're like.
I agree. I think words of affirmation with friends is really big.
Yes.
Because I think like finding friendships where you feel supported, and when that person like gives you a compliment or says something nice to you, to feel like it's genuine and not just something they feel they have to say.
Yeah,
I think that's always been my hard thing with words of affirmation.
Oh, really?
In relationships, is I just like, I think it's nice to hear from your partner, like, you look beautiful today.
Right.
But I think it can lose its.
You think it cheapens it the more that they're like, you're so pretty, or I love you. Like,
No,
you think the more they
it's
say it it makes it less potent?
It's like, okay, like if your husband says, you look beautiful today, right? And you're like, you believe him and you say thank you.
He has to.
But if a
It's on our
stranger were to come up
Yeah.
and say, wow, you look beautiful today, because that person doesn't know you, they decided to take time out of their day to tell you you look beautiful. I don't know, it hits differently, right?
Yes, but I like it all.
You like it? She just likes
I like
it
it all.
all.
I do. I absolutely know what you mean. But there's almost something too when Bryant's my husband, but when he says, we're newlyweds, so it's special. But when he says I look beautiful, like it hasn't lost its luster. I don't know if it will. I don't know. I'm still just like,
I don't think that it means any less.
It's
I think
just
it
a little extra special.
It hits in a different place.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's just different. Like if like a stranger.
And I guess it depends on how they're saying it. I'm picturing someone like, I don't know, like a cashier or something, like sweetly being like, oh, you look nice today. Okay. But if someone's like, wow, like, I gotta stop you, girl. Where'd you get that dress? Like, that's so fun.
Totally.
Like, I mean, that's levels to anything, right?
Or a guy's like, hey, are
Hot
you
stuff.
married? Like, I want to take you home later.
I know.
You're like,
I'm nervous
wow,
I'm never going to
I
have that
still
again
got
now
it.
that I'm married. Is that bad? We'll talk.
No,
That's a
I
later
think that's a
episode.
common.
Yeah.
I think that's a common fear. I think it is a common fear.
Yeah, no, I think that's true.
Monogamy is like I think.
Yeah, I want to be monogamous. I just still want to be hit on.
Totally. Yes. But it's, you never know, because, you're dating.
Right.
You never know when you start dating the person necessarily that it's going to like be forever with. So like you never know when you're having that first date for the last time. And obviously that's what you're looking for,
Right.
or a lot of people are
Right.
looking for, not everyone. But if you're looking to be with one person,
Right.
you're obviously looking for that to keep going. But you just didn't know that was your last first date.
Technically, it wasn't. We both went on dates after our first date.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that fun?
That is
Juicy.
fun.
We both had dates lined up. Quick backstory, my husband and I met on like a Friday, let's say, and we both were like in a kind of a serial dating phase, both of us, like gladly. We both loved dating. And so I just come back from a trip to San Francisco with a guy that I was seeing, non-exclusively. I had a date with Bryant on Friday. That next Saturday, I had a date with this other guy. Even though I had the best date of my life with Bryant, but I was like, I'm not gonna cancel this next date. Like,
Yeah.
it was to this restaurant I've been really wanting to go to in West Hollywood. And I was like, whatever, like, I'm like, you know what I mean? I had that dating energy. I was like, let's just keep it going. Like, that can only really be good, I think, for my potential relationship with Bryant. You know, I was like, and he had a date lined up as well for the next day. And it came out like maybe that week somehow. Oh gosh, maybe this is like we can cut this if it's stupid. But the guy that I went out with, let's just call him Tom. I don't remember his name. Oh, Tom. Let's call him Plumley. No, let's call him Tom. Okay, so the guy I went out with the next day, his sister had gone to the same college as Bryant, so it got brought up. They're the same age, and I go, I have to tell Bryant, I just met someone who, like, they're connected, whatever, right? So I go, Bryant. And I got the girl's name, and I go, do you know this girl, you know, Marissa Smith? And he's like, yeah, what? Whoa, how do you know her? And it was kind of like he'd seen a ghost, and I was like, why are you being weird? Like, was she your friend? He goes, yeah, we dated quite a bit in college. And I was like, wait, what? And he goes, how do you know her? And then I go, I went on a date with her brother. And he goes, when? And I was like, a couple days ago. And he's like, oh my God. And he goes, that's okay, I went on a date too, but how nuts that, like, I go out with this guy whose sister had dated Bryant. Like, that was my last first date.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? I know, we still bring her up. Her name is not Marissa Smith, but yeah, isn't that fun?
Wow. Yeah.
Marissa. I hope you're doing well, girl. Also, I think it'd be fun too, just circling back to the original love language discussion of, do any of the love languages, like, really not jive with you, or ones like where you have a harder time receiving them? Because I definitely have some for me, but I'm curious what yours are.
I love to give gifts, but I don't, like, take it to heart if, like, I don't get gifts.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, for me, it's just something I like to do, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, you know, my partner's not buying me enough things.
Not enough rubies.
And I actually really I love heartfelt gifts. Like, I love when, you know, someone, like, heard something you said and they took a note of it, and then it comes around, you know, on your birthday or Christmas or whatever, and they're like, well, I remember you said a few months ago that you've been interested in this, or that you wanted something like this. To me, that is just, like,
and the joy of giving that too, you know. I can only imagine, because, spoiler alert, I'm horrible at giving gifts. I'm, like, actively so bad that it's embarrassing, and it's something.
You're not bad.
I'm not bad. Like, of course, like, I can give people candles. No one's gonna be like, wow, that's horrible. But, like, I panic. My mind goes blank. Like, for you, for example, I'll be like, what is she, like, potpourri? I don't know. Like, I cannot. Like, for the life of me, I do experiences. I try to, like, I think both of us have done that, where you go on Groupon and you're like, okay, what's, like, a fun, like, you know, we should talk about worst gifts in some episode, because I actually have a story about that. But yeah, like, experiences, or, you know, let's go see a show together. Like, I try to do that. That's overwhelming too. It's like decision fatigue too, where I'm like, I don't know, they might like all of it.
Yeah. Well, and I think to put a lot of stock in gifts is just, I don't know. I feel like it's focusing on the wrong thing. You know?
I agree with that. But I see the joy that it brings other people, and I'm like,
that is
I want that
so
joy
fun.
too. Like, my mother's an incredible gift giver. A lot of the people in my life are. I attract good gift givers. What do you make of that? Interesting.
I wonder why.
Because I compliment the gifts, so they want to keep giving them to me. No. But yeah, I'd like to see the joy when someone gets you something and to feel that too. Like, I feel their joy. Not only am I excited about the gift, but it is like, wow, that's, you know.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
I agree. I love to watch someone open a gift I got them when it's like, I know they're going to love it. It's just the best.
Did you ever have, like, an early relationship where a partner didn't, like, you guys probably for many other reasons weren't connecting, but, like, the love languages were off? Like, do you think that affects a relationship?
I don't think if your love languages are different, it's bad. I think it's if the other person doesn't understand your love language or doesn't want to make an effort to try and give you love in that way. Because we all feel desired or love through different languages. So it's like, if our love languages are different, like mine's quality time, if theirs is acts of service or words of affirmation, it's like, am I giving them love in that way, or am I only giving them love through the way that I receive it, which is through quality time? You know, like, I think that that's the most important thing to understand, is like, what is the other person's love language, and sometimes giving them that love even when they haven't given you it in the way that you desire, because I think it just like, it's like, oh, if I'm going out of my way to give them love in the way that they need it, they'll probably go out of their way to give me the love that I need. And if they don't, and you bring it up and you have a conversation about it, and they become defensive or they don't want to do those things, then move on.
You reevaluate.
And probably
move on.
maybe it's not a good relationship.
Right.
You know?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Because, I think, Bryant and I also have some of our, I think we have different love languages, but exactly what you said. I think it's about, trying to do what you think is going to like brighten their day. And, he's really good about doing that for me. And actually, I think my dad actually is incredible at that. He's not one of the few people, but in my life anyway, one of the few people that's acts of service, where like he is the most acts of service person I've ever met, where every single morning when I am home, there is, before I am awake, there is this beautiful little breakfast laid out for me every single day, because that's just how, and in high school too, it was the same thing. Like always, he's like, did you make sure you eat yet? And he just is so like giving that way, and so nice. Quality time as well. But like, and not that my dad's not great at gifts. I mean, he's good, but it's like, that is how, like, again, the joy he feels when making sure that like we're fed or taken care of. Right. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Let's talk about acts of service.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I mentioned that it's something, since I've gotten older, has become a thing for me.
Yes.
And I think I've realized that the older you get and the more chaotic life gets, the more responsibilities you have, it's like the dishes need to be done, the laundry, like the house is a mess, you have work, like whatever all these things are that stack up on each other. I think when you're younger, you don't really care maybe about like dividing up those tasks as much, but the older you get, the more you're just like, oh man, I want to be like a team. Like I need some help, and I'm such I will just do it.
So you.
Like I'll just do it. Like it needs to be done, I'll just do it. But if someone can take some of that off.
How sexy is it when you come home and there's like you had dishes in the sink or whatever, and you didn't have to ask, and it's just done. It's not even big things. It literally could be dishes. It could have been, you took the trash. It could have been
cleaning the toilet.
You know what? I got you your favorite kind of LaCroix.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It's so sexy.
I went to the store and I saw those chips that you love, or it's the littlest thing.
The littlest thing. You know what? I totally agree with you. So I'm going to add maybe acts of service. All of them are up there for me, but that is really up there, because I think you're right. If you told me at 19 that was my number one love language, I'd be like, I don't think so.
Like, I'll just do my own.
Who cares?
Thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're so right. Again, it's like just a testament of like, their devotion, that they think about you, that they're caring about you when you're not there, and for nothing in return. And that's like so lovely.
Yes.
And what does it make you want to do? Help them out. Scratch their back. Give them an
help them out. What's
wink,
that make you want to do? Help them out.
With whatever they may need help with. I don't know, Aubrey. Their own dishes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, isn't that funny? Okay, tell me about...
Do you feel like love languages have caused a problem in your relationships in the past?
Big time. No.
Big time?
Maybe. Let's think about that. I don't know if I'm going to say a time, it was a first date, actually, or a second date, where the relationship didn't work out. This guy was going to business school, like cross country. So it was like, we kind of knew it was going to be just a quick, maybe like a 6-week fling. And it was the first time that I'd been shown, like, one of the love languages. It was gifts, actually. And it was so lovely. It was like we'd met up once and had dinner, and it was like a really, again, a nice fit. And our next date was on Halloween, actually. And he was like, okay, let's go. We were going to EPLP, which is this fun bar in West Hollywood. And he's like, hey, let's meet there. And he goes, by the way, like, I don't know if you have a costume yet, but if you need one, like, I have an extra. Like, I'm going to be a Ninja Turtle, and like, I'll bring you one. And I guess I was like such a jaded, like, 24-year-old. I was like, oh, haha, like, as if a guy would ever do that for me. This is so sad. This is a sad story, because then I think my self-worth was so low. I was like, he's probably lying. Anyway, so not only does the guy come with this great Ninja Turtle costume that's in my size, which is so sweet. I had worn a costume, so he had it. So he's like, I got this for you. And I kept it. Like, I didn't end up wearing it, but he's like, but keep it. And he also brought me cookies that his mother had made for me. Again, I've been on a date, a singular date with this guy before this. And he goes, hey, I was at my mom's house, and I told her what I was getting into tonight, and she's like, I'm making cookies. Can I make her some too? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And he goes, I brought them for you. Like,
wow,
lovely, right? And it was just, again,
really
it was a lot of love languages. It was gifts. It was sort of an acts of service because I love to eat, so I'm going to put that. But it was so thoughtful, and I remember thinking, yeah, it's probably ultimately not going to work out with this guy just because of the distance and at where we were at in our lives. But I remember thinking, oh, I am not going to, not necessarily expect this, but I know that I really like this. And I like that this is sort of a base point now for like future relationships of this exists. I like this.
Yes.
And he did that without, again, I'd met him one other time. There was no expectation. And of course, we had a great date, and it just was so lovely. And I still think very fondly of that person. Again, it didn't work out, but it was like, that was so nice.
That is so nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's amazing. I mean, I didn't even learn about love languages until I was, I'm going to say, maybe like 21.
A late bloomer.
Maybe like 21, 22.
Yeah.
I hadn't learned about them before then. So I guess all my relationships.
You can't really.
Before then, I can't really like.
You weren't doing any love, any language. You guys were just no gifts, no words of affirmation.
I mean, we were just as far as like knowing how someone receives love, it's like, I guess I was so young too that you're just not even thinking to care about those things. But yeah, I feel like me and my ex, our love languages were very different, and maybe we also just didn't talk about them enough or like try to explore that enough.
I know, and to answer your question earlier, because I don't think I fully answered it, which was like, when have you not connected with a partner over love languages, or like when has it been opposite and detrimental? I think, one of my ex-boyfriends, and it was wrong for a lot of reasons, so maybe love languages had nothing to do with it, but I do think there's something there that if you're already feeling like resentment, like let's say you're having a bad day with your partner, and you guys just aren't jiving, you're not, it's just not your day. That's where love language is, where if you do know the other so well, that's where it's like a love language where it's like, here, I made you dinner, I got you whatever it is, or can I give you a back rub for a few minutes? That's what can totally switch things around. So I think we were not, using that skill set.
I also think some love languages take more energy, more effort than others. Like words of affirmation, that's a great one because
it's free. I do it all the time.
It's free.
It feels good.
I can just dish it out like a ton, where I feel like quality time, if that's how I receive my love, it's like sometimes it's hard. Like schedules get busy, or, I'm someone who, I just love to like go on dates. I just love to do fun stuff and like not think about the world or responsibilities when I'm hanging out. And I'm the same way with my friends. Like I love to just sit with them, hang out, and feel like I have quality time.
Like that. That's all we do.
That's all we do. Just this. And so sometimes that just takes so much more effort, even on my partner's end. Because I want that forethought of
the anticipation.
I've missed you. I want to spend time with you.
Right.
Even if it's not how that person receives love, it's how I receive love. So that's what I love to receive. And I don't know. Acts of service also takes more energy, more forethought.
Kind of all of them but physical touch and words of affirmation, which are mine too. Gosh, oh no, my bad.
Physical touch can take a lot of energy, depending on what kind of physical touch.
For sure.
You're talking about.
I don't even, what type are you referring to?
Oh, it's just, like back rubs.
Yeah.
It takes
you have to go to massage school.
Yeah.
To get good.
Yeah.
Literally, Bryant is so bad at back rubs and massages, and it's fine. Like, we're married, and he has a lifetime to learn that I've started giving myself arm rubs at night because his are so bad that I'm like, well, if I can't get it from him, I'm gonna have to do it myself. Like, Aubrey, audience, our friends at home, it's like this. This is how he does it. I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, Bryant, like,
that's
I love
a pinch.
You. Exactly. He pinches
Maybe
me.
he does it on purpose because he doesn't want to have to do it.
And that's brilliant. That's so brilliant. Smart, because now I'm like, please don't. He's like, I'll give you a back rub. I'm like, no, I'd really, you know what? Thank you. I'm okay. Thank you.
You guys should get one of those like massage guns.
They're too hard.
We have one. They're amazing. No, there's like a soft setting.
I would want it to be like this
I
kind
know,
of a
you like
setting.
to just be like
rubbed
lightly
and touched.
touched.
You're like, not.
Why doesn't he just scratch your back?
Because he's not good at it. I don't think. I don't know.
Just have him scratch your back. Try
I
that.
don't know.
That's your homework.
Okay.
So to close it out, are love languages important?
2 thumbs up. I do
Yes.
think they are. I don't think it's, to your point earlier, I don't think it's a make or break relationship,
I agree.
deal breaker.
It's a great pillar to learn your partner.
Yes.
Then it's all about communication and just showing up for your partner. But it's a great, I don't think people, when you know what love languages are and you can recognize what your own are, you're only going to be a better partner for whoever you're dating because you know how to communicate what it is that you need. And if that person can figure out what it is that they need, you're just going to have a stronger relationship as long as both people are showing up for the other.
Because relationships are all about communication.
Communication.
And with that being said, what a fun episode. Aubrey, great job.
Technically, the first episode, whenever you're watching
I know
this.
that this is going to be our 50th release, but this is the first one we filmed.
First episode.
And I think it went really well. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
3 thumbs up.
Give us a like and a subscribe.
And if you do, we'll give you a personal shout out and a personal video to every single person who likes and subscribes. You can hang out with us in person. You can do whatever you want.
She loves to lie. She loves to lie. I don't know that we could do that, but we really appreciate it.
And if you come up and say hi to us in the grocery store, I'll say hi. Aubrey won't. She's just established that.
Yeah.
She's going to act like she doesn't know our fans. And that's not nice.
I would love our fans. I would love them.
Be our friend.
Be our friend. Be our friend. Be our friend.
E-N-D, our friend.
I was like,
Be our
what are you
friend.
spelling?
B-E-A-F-R-I-E-N-D, be our friend. Be our friend.
Be our friend.